Last night was a wild one for Lakers fans, and honestly, it left a lot of people scratching their heads. The team opened with Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, Rui Hachimura, LeBron James, and DeAndre Ayton on the floor, and it quickly became clear that the defense was not where it needed to be. I love Rui Hachimura as a player. Truly, I do. But the question is, can he really start in this lineup? Can he handle being a starter night in and night out, especially against teams that are fast, aggressive, and athletic? My gut says no. He has to come off the bench at this stage. That's just the reality of how this roster is built and the demands of the modern NBA, especially when you're trying to make a deep playoff run. Now, before anyone jumps to conclusions, I want to clarify that I'm not ready to throw the first 2 or 3 games under the bus. It's LeBron's first game back, and I'm genuinely hoping the coaching staff is simply leaning on familiarity. He's played alongside Luka. He knows Austin Reeves, and Rui has shown flashes when paired with LeBron. Maybe this was just about giving him a comfort zone at the start so that he could ease back into full-time action. If that's the case, then fine, I can live with it. The first handful of games of the season are always about experimentation, especially with a roster as loaded with talent as this one. You're trying lineups, finding chemistry, and figuring out what works and what doesn't. It's an adjustment period, and patience is key. But here's where the concern creeps in. If Rui Hachimura is going to remain a permanent fixture in the starting 5, we need to have a serious conversation about his fit. In the past, Rui has struggled when he's benched, sometimes taking it personally and losing focus. That was under a different coaching staff, sure, but it's something to consider. Players respond differently to roles, and while Rui has publicly stated that he's okay coming off the bench, the problem isn't about minutes alone. It's about how he fits into the rotation and the style of play that the Lakers need from their starters. You can't afford to have 3 of your less athletic players sharing the court simultaneously, especially when the team already has athletic deficiencies. If Rui isn't shooting at his peak, he doesn't bring the kind of defensive energy, perimeter coverage, or hustle that this starting unit demands. That's a risk the Lakers can't consistently take if they want to compete at the highest level. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Rui has no place on this team. On the contrary, I think he can thrive in a 6-man role, where he becomes a focal point offensively and contributes in spurts without carrying the defensive burden of a starter. He can slot in at the 3 or the 4 depending on matchups, and when LeBron heads to the bench, Rui can step in and provide scoring and spacing. There's a lot of flexibility in that role, and it's exactly where he could add the most value. The beauty of basketball today is versatility, and the Lakers have the personnel to mix and match effectively. But you need to use players in roles that complement their strengths, not force them into positions where they're vulnerable. The underlying worry, though, is that the Lakers might be hesitant to bench Rui because of concerns over his willingness to accept the role or maintain his value. If the organization fears that he'll check out or become unhappy if relegated to the bench, that presents a dilemma. In that case, a trade becomes a realistic option. As much as I admire Rui's skill and love what he brings to the table, the team has to prioritize the bigger picture. If he's unwilling to adjust, the Lakers have to explore alternatives, whether that means acquiring someone like Andrew Wiggins to strengthen the starting lineup or making another move to bring in the athleticism and defense that the team lacks. It's never easy to consider trading a beloved player, but at the end of the day, success for the franchise has to come first. We also have to consider the potential strategy at play here. Perhaps starting Rui is less about his ability and more about preserving trade value. Keeping him in the starting unit ensures that he continues to perform at a high level, maintaining his market value if the team decides to make a move. From a management perspective, it's smart. You don't want to diminish a player's perceived worth by lowering his minutes or altering his role in a way that could impact performance. So, in that sense, what we saw last night could be a calculated decision. The Lakers might be looking several steps ahead, weighing player satisfaction, development, and potential trades while still trying to compete in the present. At the same time, if this was about building familiarity for LeBron, I can fully understand that approach. LeBron is coming back from an absence, and giving him teammates he's comfortable with makes sense for immediate chemistry and rhythm. Integrating new rotations and experimenting with other lineups can happen gradually over the first few games. It's a delicate balance between optimizing for today and planning for the postseason, where every adjustment matters. Ideally, the team will use these early matchups to test scenarios, see who rises to the occasion, and determine which combinations work best. Players like Marcus Smart, Jared Vanderbilt, and Jake LaRavia could all see their roles fluctuate as the staff evaluates both defensive efficiency and offensive output. The real challenge is finding that starting five that can handle the intensity of playoff basketball while also maintaining a healthy balance of athleticism, spacing, and experience. Early in the season, the Lakers can afford to experiment, but they need to quickly identify who can consistently deliver at a high level. Whether it's Marcus Smart earning minutes, LaRavia proving his value, or Vanderbilt providing the defensive injection the starters need, the goal is to ensure that the team is prepared for the grind that lies ahead. And that preparation starts with honest evaluation, not just letting reputations dictate minutes. Last night, the defense was clearly an issue, and it highlighted the importance of having the right blend of athleticism on the court. No matter how much scoring talent exists, if a team cannot guard effectively or keep up with faster lineups, they're at a disadvantage. The Lakers already face that uphill battle with their roster composition, and putting Rui in a starting role without the defensive support he requires exposes vulnerabilities. That's not to diminish his value, but to underscore the fact that team dynamics and fit are more critical than individual skill alone. In a league where the margin for error is razor thin, these decisions can define a season. Moving forward, the Lakers have a critical window to figure out how to structure their rotation. Early games are about experimentation, yes, but they're also a test of patience and decision-making. How do you balance giving LeBron his comfort zone while simultaneously evaluating other players? That's the dilemma. You want him to be at his best, building chemistry with teammates he knows well, like Luka, Austin Reeves, or even Rui in certain lineups. But at the same time, you can't ignore the need to establish a starter who can consistently deliver defensively and handle the rigors of a playoff environment. It's a fine line, and how the Lakers navigate it will likely set the tone for the season. One thing to watch closely is the impact of matchups. Not every opponent will expose the same weaknesses, but certain teams, particularly those with speed and versatility, will exploit a starting five that lacks perimeter defense and athleticism. Last night's game against Utah offered a glimpse of what could go wrong if the starters aren't optimized. If you continue to field a unit that struggles to guard pick and rolls or switch effectively, those defensive lapses will be magnified as the season progresses. It's not just about whether a player can score. It's about how the collective group functions on both ends of the floor. Basketball, at this level, is a game of nuances, rotations, and matchups, and the Lakers need a starting lineup that can keep pace with the evolving landscape of the league. Then there's the matter of bench depth. Rui can shine in a six-man role, giving the second unit scoring punch and versatility, while the starters handle the defensive heavy lifting. That flexibility could be invaluable, especially in a season that will inevitably include back-to-back games and stretches with limited rest. When you can stagger minutes so that your best defensive threats are supported by defenders and playmakers who complement them, you maximize both efficiency and impact. It's a chess game, and the Lakers have the pieces. The challenge is placing them in the right configuration. It's also worth considering the message this sends to the locker room. A clear hierarchy and well-defined roles reduce confusion and frustration. When players know their responsibilities and understand how their contributions fit into the larger plan, they can perform with confidence. Conversely, uncertainty over minutes or roles can lead to disengagement or uneven performances. Rui's situation is a perfect example. He's a talented scorer, but if he feels like he's being asked to fill a role that doesn't suit his strengths, it can impact not just him but the rhythm of the team as a whole. The coaching staff has to communicate expectations clearly, reinforce that individual sacrifice serves the team, and ensure that every player buys into the strategy. Another factor to keep in mind is the need for continuity heading into the playoffs. Early season experiments are fine for evaluation, but the goal is to converge on a reliable starting five before the postseason begins. This allows the team to develop chemistry and refine rotations under consistent conditions. You don't want to reach the playoffs still debating who starts where or who closes out games. That uncertainty can lead to costly mistakes in high-pressure situations. Ideally, the Lakers can use this first stretch of games to observe which lineups deliver both offensive output and defensive stability, while also maintaining team morale and energy levels. The conversation about Rui and his role intersects with a broader theme, prioritizing team fit over individual talent. Basketball isn't just about having the most skilled players. It's about assembling a cohesive unit that functions effectively together. Even a player who is statistically impressive may not be the best fit if he disrupts spacing, slows the pace, or creates defensive liabilities. That's why bench roles can often be more impactful than they appear. A player like Rui coming off the bench can dictate the flow of a game in a way that maximizes his skill set while minimizing weaknesses. It's strategic allocation of talent, ensuring the right players are on the floor at the right times against the right opponents. At the same time, trade considerations cannot be ignored. If Rui's long-term fit in the starting lineup is questionable, the Lakers may have to explore options. This could include acquiring a player who provides the defensive consistency and athleticism needed at the 3 or 4 positions. Trades are complicated, balancing immediate needs with long-term potential, but they can be essential to maintaining competitive balance. The decision to keep or move a player like Rui isn't personal. It's about optimizing the roster for both the present and the future. The goal is to create a lineup that can compete at a championship level, where every possession, every rotation, and every matchup is critical. Meanwhile, players like Marcus Smart, Jared Vanderbilt, and Jake LaRavia are all in positions to earn minutes and establish themselves as reliable contributors. Their performance in these early games will likely inform decisions about who becomes a fixture in the starting five. Smart brings defensive intensity and playmaking. Vanderbilt offers rim protection and rebounding, and LaRavia provides spacing and scoring ability. Evaluating how they interact with LeBron and the rest of the core will be crucial. The coaching staff must watch closely, adapt, and make adjustments to ensure the team is functioning at peak efficiency on both ends of the floor. It's a balancing act between experimentation and structure. You want to test combinations, find the most effective rotations, and build chemistry, but you also have to avoid creating habits that could be detrimental in the playoffs. Establishing defensive standards, spacing principles, and offensive flow early in the season lays the groundwork for success when the stakes are highest. If the team can integrate players into defined roles that capitalize on their strengths, while maintaining adaptability to adjust for matchups, they set themselves up for a strong, deep run. It's about smart decision-making, measured patience, and constant evaluation. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, whispers are swirling around the Los Angeles Lakers locker room after an unexpected and pointed comment from head coach J.J. REDICK. Sources close to the team revealed that REDICK allegedly stated, "He doesn't play for me anymore," in reference to one of the Lakers' star players. The remark, brief but loaded, has set off a firestorm of speculation among fans, analysts, and insiders alike. While the coach's exact intent remains unclear, the tension it implies is impossible to ignore. This isn't the first time the Lakers have faced internal friction, but for such a public declaration to come from REDICK, a man known for his measured, analytical approach, raises eyebrows. Some insiders suggest that this could be the culmination of ongoing disagreements behind the scenes, differences in approach to training, on-court strategy, or even personal dynamics between coach and player. The specifics remain murky, but the statement alone has been enough to send social media into overdrive, with speculation ranging from a potential trade to a rift that might never be publicly repaired. Fans are dissecting every recent game, every sideline interaction, and even practice footage, searching for clues about what could have triggered this dramatic remark. The player in question, who has been a cornerstone of the Lakers roster, has maintained professionalism in public statements, though some observers point to subtle signs of frustration in post-game interviews and press conferences. Analysts are debating whether this is a temporary flare-up or a signal of a more permanent split that could reshape the Lakers' season strategy. Across NBA circles, the comment is being framed as a potential power play by REDICK, perhaps aimed at asserting authority or sending a message to the rest of the team. Yet, others argue that this could backfire, destabilizing team chemistry at a critical juncture. Whatever the truth, the Lakers' locker room is now the center of heated speculation, and the rumor mill is running at full throttle. Every passing day, without clarification, only adds fuel to the fire, leaving fans anxiously guessing what comes next in this unfolding saga of tension and uncertainty. One thing is clear: the Lakers, already under the microscope for their on-court performance, now face questions about internal cohesion that could have ramifications far beyond the next game. The basketball world is watching, and the buzz shows no sign of slowing down. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.